Hello, my friends. This is my fault movie, uh, London version. So there is uh, a lot of things that is so different from Spanish version. So we're gonna just dive into uh, all the differences. And in this stream, I don't want to compare too much Spanish and English version because I like both, and I don't really want people uh, just you know hate on one version and just uh, like another. I don't think that this is anything like. I don't think this has to do with uh, preferences because basically if you give a shot this new English version of My Fault movie, you saw that there is no actually like major differences. There is no major uh, I don't know setbacks like nothing really to hate in this new British version of My Fault movie. So basically, I prefer just give a shot anything before I am judging it. And after I watch this British version, I don't think. First of all, I don't think that it's worse than Spanish, and somehow it's even better. And let me explain you why I think that is better. First of all, they still stick to the book. Of course, there is a book, and you just bound it to that script, right? So this is why we have the main actors, the main actress. They are so similar to Spanish versions. They are similar, and in some ways, in some moments, they are even too much similar. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have a certain type, or we don't have uh, the exact character. Like, we have Spanish version, of course, we did, and we have a book, right? So, but we don't have the exact look of that Noah and of that Nick. Probably we have something in a book, like probably illustrations and descriptions of what they look like, right? But I think the Spanish version just set that standards, and because of the main characters and who played them, like Gabriel and Nicole, they set that standard. So this is why I think these British versions of Noah and Gabriel, they look uh, so similar to Spanish versions because of uh, just because that movie was released just long ago, before this was even shot, this new version. And what I really noticed is that British version is trying to be really different in some way. It's still showing the same moments, like this party, for example, like the first party where no party without Nick, and this is that party where Noah and Nick went after they were after Noah lived in the same she moved in the same house, and after that they went to this party. And in British version this party looks like I don't know, it's just a little bit more modest, I think, because we remember what Nick did in the Spanish version. And for example, this moment with a lot of women and how he kissed them in Spanish version, that was way too much, and that was hotter, and there were a lot of kisses, a lot of different women. We remember that. So in British version, they just they have that, you know, conservative British style. I don't even know exactly what that means, but I think that British version has its own style. It's like more it's actually more conservative. For example, this scene is just it actually shows Nick only dance with like two women, and he doesn't even really kiss them or something. But in Spanish version there was too much tongue, too much kiss, and they actually made out. In Nick in Culpa Mia, he actually just did it way hotter than this British Nick, of course. So I prefer that Spanish hotness of moments like this. You know, I definitely like that a little bit more. But in this British, again, this conservativeness, it has something. It definitely has something, you know, like it feels different. For example, this moment when he noticed the tattoo and the sign and what that means, is that Nick has the same tattoo but on the different part of the body. And in this version, British version, he, for example, noticed this tattoo in the car, but in the Spanish version that was in the bed when he brought Bella or Noah after the party. We all remember that. And what I really noticed is that this girlfriend of Nick, she looks pretty old. Like, no offense to actress, I don't even know who she is, but I noticed that she looks way too older than him. You know, like, I don't know why they chose this specific actress, or whether it was on purpose or something, like to create the difference between them two. But it looks like she is his mother or something. Look just at this picture. I don't think that they look like boyfriend and girlfriend, you know, like a couple. They look more like, I don't know. So that was a little bit weird. For the first time I saw them, I actually thought that she is his mother, and I would never think that this is his girlfriend or just his partner or something. So after we saw that party, we already knew that it's gonna be different, and it's gonna be not totally the same as the Spanish version. And I really liked it because I don't like just copy and paste something. It looks just reused content again and again, you know, like, and of course UK, there they know exactly how to create something, and how to act, because the acting is perfect in this movie. I didn't notice a single thing that I wanna just make. Otherwise, I want this movie to be what it is, you know. And I really like how Nick looks. I mean, like, he's definitely as hot as Spanish version is, but they went a little bit, I don't know. They create him. They do make him more like compound version, complex. He is not just, you know, that bad guy like Gabriel in Culpa Mia. He's more like that character that I always wanted Nick to be, you know. And I always wondered why Gabriel, for example, Gabriel plays the same character in every project he participates. He plays the same bad guy, and I'm not even kidding, like 5 last projects I saw him, he was the same Nick, but the movies or TV shows were different. But he played the same bad boy. All that cliche, all that stuff, like, you know. And he didn't even try to be different. I don't really understand why he still play ever and ever the same person, but in different projects. Like, probably because of how he looks, but look at this guy. He doesn't look that bad guy type or something. If we compare him to Gabriel, this British actor, he looks more like, you know, I don't know, just, he doesn't have baby face, but he way more like, you know, I don't know, like soft or softer. He is definitely more soft. And if we look at Gabriel, he is way more like that brutal, you know, like masculine, you know, all that stuff. But at the same time, I really like how different this British Nick can be. At the moment, he can be really, he can get carried away and he can be that aggressive Nick. But after it, for example, he and Noah, they met Nick's mother in this movie, but in Spanish version they met Nick's mother in part 2. Like, they just released that part 2 month ago or something, 2 months ago, and it took them actually just 30 or something minutes of this British, like part 1, to actually just show the relations between mother and Nick. And I really like how Nick doesn't just hate on his mother in this British version. He actually tries to reunite or something, like find that connection. And with his stepsister, he has pretty good relationship, as well as in Spanish version. But the mother in this British version and Nick, they actually not just ran into each other and Nick just refused her again and again and completely ignores her. In this British version, he actually he is trying to find any way to create this relationship to make it work, even though he is still the same character, he is way more different from that Spanish version. I mean, like, he is not just that aggressive Nick who doesn't care about anything. He do care, and he actually looks like way more compound and a little bit interesting because of that, And of course, all the love scenes, I mean, like, all the kisses, I think in Spanish version they were better because of the just how Spanish people can make it hotter. They can make it just as hot as no one can make it, No one can make it as Spanish actress can do that, because I don't know, probably it's just the nature of being Spanish, how you feel it. But this British conservative style, I also like it, and how they serve everything in its own way. Like, they're not trying to be the same, and they actually put something of that British style, For example, like this kiss and this scene particularly, it's not trying to be the same as in Spanish version. We remember that it didn't take them too long in Spanish version to get their first love scene or something. If I remember, that was like way too quick. But in this British version, again, I'm comparing just too much, but I didn't. I was not going to compare too much, but I am So just let's focus on this British movie. The fight scene was pretty good, and it was kind of even more brutal than, again, I'm comparing, right? Okay, it's just brutal, and it's actually it is kind of weird, again, because this Nick, he doesn't look that type. He just doesn't, I don't know why, but I just saw a lot of comments that this Nick and Noah, they do not look like those characters. I only can find one reason, is just because we all used to see, a guy with the masculine look, and we used to see, of course, Gabrielle as that person, as that character. So after that experience, it's just difficult to focus on something different, and I understand that, but you have to just focus totally on this movie and ignore everything that happened in the other one. So this way you can actually enjoy this movie, and you can even watch them one after other. But for example, I didn't like Your Fault Spanish, just the movie that was dropped in December, and I explained why I didn't like it. You can find that stream with me explaining. I really like this scene. I mean, like, this scene is probably the most intimate and the most the closest to that Spanish versions of Nick and Noah we like, as well as this scene, and this is just, a lot of different moments with them together. And this scene is the last scene under, like, in the pool. They are together after everything happened. The ending is pretty the same. I mean, like, they made something differently. For example, all the car scenes, all the races, they were not the same, but the script is still the same. So if someone was going to die, he died. Just, there is no way to make it otherwise. So after this, I want to show you another project with the same actor, and I want to show how different he can be and his range of acting from this modern My Fault movie to the Buccaneers project from 2023. He participated as a a guy whose name is actually Guy. His name Guy. So he was in this project. This is a TV show, and he was playing the I don't know actually his title in that TV show. I mean, like, everybody seems has a title like Duke or something. He was just a guy, and his name was Guy. So he played the role, and that was actually that was excellent. I mean, like, if you haven't watched it yet, just try. And I think that you'll like it, because this TV show is actually just amazing. And why I brought it here, because again, Gabriel 5, 6, I can remember Red Flags, Your Fault, My Fault, and I remember 2 other projects, Spanish projects he participated. He was playing the exact same person again. There was barely difference from any project he participated. Like, it looks so alike he plays. But this guy in this TV show, he's completely different from, for example, from Nick character in My Fault movie. In this TV show, he's not that type, that aggressive bad boy, He's actually conservative, so, like, restrained, modest. And because all of that, I don't know, ancient stuff or something, like, he acts so different, and all the manners he has to have, it make him actually so just such an interesting character, And in this TV show, he is trying to getting married with this woman, but he is currently getting married with another man. And this is the main focus of this project, because multiple times they just run into each other, and every time something happens, like they realizing how much they are comfort with each other. They are comfortable with each other, and there is no if My Fault London movie was not that aggressive as Spanish, this project is just completely, it's just on another level, because the range of emotions and all the different situations, like, that actually create, I even think that TV show, just the format of TV show is something that allows you just to create whatever you want and to make it longer, of course, and since it's not a movie, you can make every episode like longer, and you can create every episode as different story, and it don't look chopped, because movie always look chopped, like something was cut off, something just missing, but TV show allows you actually expand all your materials and just balance it perfectly. And I like actually how, for example, this guy character, he actually tries to be more brave with his feelings, but it's just not him. He's way more, again, he's trying to to be that brave, but he is not. And this is really interesting because of that in confidence. Everything happens in a way he doesn't want, and every time we see like how they interact, the main character right there and him, it feels so fucking real. And because of how he is trying to work up his courage to come up to this girl, is every time he's bringing something inside me, like, I feel it so it's so real, and I really feel it likes I have a lot of just sympathy for this character and how the actor just created him. But first time when I was talking about this TV show, I didn't really notice him because I didn't even know that this is the same person who plays Nick in My Fault London. But after this movie, My Fault London, released, I actually realized that I already saw this guy, but I just checked where I saw him, and I realized that this was this project. So, and after that, I just rewatched it, and now I even like it more. Because when you create something specific like lesbian content, every time you just focus on that stuff and you ignore a lot of things, but I'm so glad that I just came back to this project and I rewatched it and found this guy, this character, and especially after My Fault London movie, because you need to know how good an actor is before judging his acting. And just based on one movie, you cannot really judge a lot. You can see how bad that movie is or not, but actors and actresses, they just bound to the script, right? So they cannot do something the way they want, And I think that the book itself, probably just the book, the My Fault movie, based on a book, right? And I just don't think that that book is just a good book, And I never read it, but I guess it's just not that good. If we have two movies and both of them just two different versions based on the same book, and both of them look lacking of complicity, like lacking of something that is really compound and something that actually just make you feel like you're watching something, big, something like amazing acting, I didn't feel it when I was watching Spanish version, and I didn't feel it this time with My Fault London. And it brings me to think that probably a book is just not good itself. Why would it be? Probably it was written long ago when something was when something like that experience was just in that particular time, that experience described in that book was probably something interesting. But I think this day you have to have something way more complex to entertain people, and I don't think that you can just base something on a book and think that it would succeed, because second movie, Your Fault, for example, based again on a book, but it didn't have that success as first part had. And I think that first movie, part one, is always something successful. In most cases, part one is something new. People just, excited. They never saw it. They want to see something new. And part one is always something fresh and people excited for a while. But part two is where excitement just lower, expectations higher. I mean, like, expectations high, excitement probably exists, but the final results, when you just get it, it's not that anymore. There is something off, something really missing. So this is why I don't think that part two of this British project, My Fault, Your Fault, London, will be more successful than Spanish version is. But I do think that exactly this movie is somehow, it's way more interesting than Your Fault, Spanish recent movie. And I think that this movie is better probably in every possible way than that movie, but not than the first movie, the My Fault Spanish version. That movie was amazing, and I think that movie uh, will not beaten by anything, any version, because that was just first, and it was actually first project where I fell in love with Spanish stuff like TV shows or movies completely. I fell in love exactly when that movie dropped, and that feelings just, nothing can replace them. Any movie, any version, any remake. So this is why I think it's stupid to just, blindly hate on something and just, just give a shot this new movie. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't, like. But I still think this is a good movie, and it's better than Spanish, your fault Spanish, And they were dropped just almost at the same time. That movie was dropped in December, and this movie just now. And probably this is a good gap between them because we can see the difference. So you watched the Spanish version, after that you just came to this version, and you still have that recollections of that Spanish version you just saw, and you can actually see why this movie is better, because it wasn't too long to remember what happened in that Spanish version. And when you see something like that, like this British movie, and how they managed to create these characters way more interesting than original Spanish versions, this is just amazing. And I think this is just happened because of the just talent and the amount of probably work they put specifically in this project. Because if it didn't succeed, it would have not even got a chance for sequel or something. So they had no choice but created better or equal. They had no choice just to make it as good as My Fault Spanish version. So guys, I think you just have your opinion, and this is just mine, and I don't want to people just arguing over the movie, because I don't think it's something worth spending your time hating on something and convincing people that something is better, it's stupid. Never do that. It'll get you nowhere, like you would never enjoy someone convincing you that no, just you're wrong, something is better, you don't know nothing, you just ignore that people and try to experience it yourself, and then after that you can judge everything based on your experience, not on comments or someone's experience. Just give it a shot and you see if you like it. Thank you for watching. That was my take on My Fault London. See you next time. And this time I actually created a lot of recent TV shows in order to make live streams different, make them actually interesting. I created Portuguese content in English, but still Portuguese TV show next. And then after that will be 3 or 4 different movies and TV shows. There will be a lot of lesbian content, but of course in a way that YouTube allows, So a lot of different content will happen probably in next few weeks. And I'm happy to see you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.